Yo, episode 46, Encore Podcast. We back. Just me today. Cruz is at law school doing his thing, but we got Vonté NYC.
Yeah, man, what's going on?
Life is good. How you doing today?
Nice little trip up here, man.
It's something like
to the boonies, you know, we outside.
To the middle of nowhere.
It's really the middle of nowhere though.
Yeah, high key.
Like if you don't, like you gave me the old, I had the old address though when I came, so even over there, it's still the middle of nowhere. Then I had to walk to the further part of the middle.
The more nowhere.
Yeah, but I'm here, man. We here. What's up?
We here. Life is good.
Yeah,
why'd you put the NYC in front of your name?
So NYC don't stand for New York City.
Yeah.
If you want to know what it stands for, you got to tune into the podcast.
Hey,
Vonté NYC is a hidden gem in there. I'm gonna say what it means eventually.
Okay.
Because it's gonna coincide with what I do next, like the big. But it's like a kind of like to eye catcher, right? They see Vonté, that's my name. My name is Devontae, right? So I can't just put Vonté. It'll be like I'm just another person doing something. But the NYC is like, all right, is he repping his city?
Yeah.
Like, do we say it with his name? Do we not say it with his name? So it's like a whole bunch of like talk behind it, but nobody really knows what it is. And that's what gets people going. See how you asked that?
Yeah.
I know you probably thought a million things, but
I didn't want to assume anything.
I just tell people like it just. All I can say is it doesn't stand for New York City.
Okay.
Because Vonté New York City would be a crazy name.
I'm not gonna say that.
I'm gonna say for me, so it would be a crazy name. You know?
It happens. But so in just a few minutes, could you tell the people where you were born, where you grew up, and how you got started in the music industry?
All right. So I was born in Bed-Stuy, actually.
Okay.
But I only stayed there for like a year or two.
Okay.
Then I moved to Crown Heights, Brooklyn, where I spent the majority of my life, and I just moved out of Crown Heights, Brooklyn to the 90s,
Okay.
Which is like Brownsville, Flatbush in the middle of that. So,
Okay.
How did I get started? I love music. I love the arts. I've been a big fan of like just music since a kid. Like who hasn't, right? I always say who hasn't. But I got my start, I want to say 2013. Damn. I created a show. Like how old do you think I am?
27.
I'm 29.
29.
Right?
Okay.
So in 2013, so next year will be 10 years. 10 years of media. But so I started a show in 2013 called Chino TV, based off my old nickname. And it was me kind of like, it was a music group, a bunch of friends that I had. They wanted to interview and nobody really to get it done. I did it as a joke. I was like, yo, let's do it, because they had a basement, a camera. It was them down there. I knew them all. Mm-hmm. And like I said, I'm a fan of like, not just music, but like the media side to it too. Like I'm a big Tigger fan. Sway, shouts to them. So I was like, you know what, let me do this interview with you guys. And then wherever it takes you guys, you know, I'm happy. But I never thought that people would see me and say, yo, where's the next episode? So I did that for like 2 years, but it wasn't consistent. I was just doing it when I could find artists who would want to come to Gravesend, Brooklyn, and sit in the basement with me and my camera guy, you know? So we did that for 2 years. Then I just stopped because it was like, it was a hobby. And I wasn't really like, I didn't know anything about anything, bro. I just was doing it because we had the idea and the tools, right? So we did that. And then I took I want to say a hiatus, because now I'm back for like 3 years. So 2018, I made my return, rebranded as Vonté NYC. And then that's when we start to add podcasts, the rap stuff, lyrical flexercise, R&B. So it's just kind of like, what can I do now that there's a lot going on in the culture? Yeah. Like how can I use my resources now to like just up the ante in the music culture? So that's where I'm at now. But I want to say 10 years ago, almost 10 years ago.
So those first 2 years, even though it wasn't consistent, you like built the skill set.
My first interview was horrible, bro. I'll send you a link to it. It was bad. Like for me,
I won't send you a link to my first.
Because I watched it back recently, actually, just to see like what I was talking about back then, like in 2013, right? What the fuck? And I was 20 in 2013. So what is 20-year-old Vonté speaking about? And like what is his mindset like? So I watched it back and I didn't really cringe. It was just like, damn, look at younger me and look at me now still like chasing the goals, you know? And then towards the end of that run of the Chino TV, I interviewed somebody named Jeff Gambolero, rest in peace to him. He was like a very known graffiti artist named Korn, Korn. And he was a Super Nets fan, Brooklyn Nets. So when they first moved to Brooklyn, he used to dress up with the nylon, bright colors under the jersey, you know, the black and white jersey. And he'll have courtside tickets. So he's getting the dance cam going. He's getting everybody turned up. So we met at a game. I was working at Barclays Center at the time. And he came up to me and was like, we were just talking about stuff. And then he gave me his card. And I was like, I have a show where I do interviews. like if you do this, like, come to the show. Like he's like, yo, I'm down for it. And I was like, word, just like that. And that was probably my biggest interview at the time. When he passed away, I was on every art blog. I was in like the Brooklyn newspaper just for that interview. And I'm like, yo, so many people. I didn't know what the hell I was doing here. So everybody reaching me out, it kind of got overwhelming, and I kind of like disappeared from it all after he passed, because I was like, I never had nobody that I work with pass. Like it was crazy.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
I just had that for the first time last week.
And it's tough because it's like,
it's
like,
weird.
what do you?
The interview hits different. I remember watching Adam 22 talk about it. You know, when X died and he did shit. The same thing happened. His shit blew up. That's the biggest video ever. But like, also, it's just like it's crazy to look at that.
I archived it too after like I want to say after he passed, because again, it was a hobby for me. So with everybody hit me up for press and interviews and like all this stuff, I was just like, bro, I knew him to an extent, so I can't really speak on his behalf and how his mental was. And they're asking me stuff about that, and I'm like, I can't tell you. Like I seen him at every Nets game and in the interview, so I don't really know him to give you any answers. Yeah. But the longer it stayed up, the longer the link was getting pulled to a different article, and people were messaging me, and it was cool, but not cool, if that makes sense, you know. Yeah. So. But yeah, like I said, fast forward, here we are today. I'm on the Encore Pod, man. Yes, like, shout out to my guy Ty in the building too. You know, Ty to pull up with me. He had to make this trip. That's my if you know, you know. Everybody know Ty. If you know me, you know Ty. So then you know, he out here.
That's what's up.
Yeah, but yeah, we here, man. Like I said, it's 10 years later.
Okay, so now you got 3 main shows, correct? Yeah. It'd be Lyrical Flexercise, the R&B Pack, and your personal podcast.
Yes.
Okay, so which one of those came first?
Podcast came first. So that's 2018. That's before people were doing video podcasting. So it was just all streaming. Like my first 30 episodes are only audio. Okay. Because at the time, that's all people really did for podcasting. It was pretty much a new concept. Yeah. So that's the first one.
Okay. So why did you what inspired later on, like you're doing the pod and like this other idea for Lyrical Flexercise and R&B Pack?
So when I did Chino TV, I would have, if you had a talent when you came to the show, you would have to portray it. So if you were a rapper, you would rap a cappella, singer, you would sing. And for Lyrical Flexercise, it's like, I always wanted to do something like a rap show, because again, I watched Big Tigger, I watched like Big Tigger, I want to say like it's one of my biggest inspirations about like just creating your own stuff, bringing people in, and whoever it goes, you know. So
I was never on him. I need to. Does he still make shit? Like I was never on.
Yeah, like he actually brought back Rap City for like the award shows and all that. Like so like, and it's nostalgic, so people still love it, you know. And a lot of people who have like rap shows will tell you like, you know, Rap City in the Basement is something that they looked at and was like, all right. And even like Funk Flex has his show, and so I created Lyrical Flexercise 2019. Okay. So July 26, 2019 was the first episode. We went to Gotham Podcast Studio. And I went in there and I was like, I have an idea for a rap show, because it's a podcast studio. So they're looking at me naturally like huh? Like what? Yeah. So I said, I got this idea. I'm gonna just bring some rappers up. They're gonna rap, you know, just send me the audio. We'll handle the video and we're gonna put it out. So I did 50 freestyles. Okay. 50 different artists. 50 different artists from July 2019 to March 2020. So you know what happens at March 2020 hits. Oh shit. COVID. So we like during my last filming, I remember the studio owners telling me like, yeah, we're about to close down. So sorry, like I know you got your operation going, but we can't take any chances. So now I'm just shit out of luck, because I still, at the time I made Lyrical Flexercise, it was still new. It was like trial and error. Mm-hmm. So it was like, I just didn't know how long I was going to do freestyles at that particular location. Was I going to expand it to anything else?
You didn't feel like you could do it without the location?
Yeah, but because I did 50 freestyles there already, it's like I got so used to being here. This was the spot. Like everybody knew Flexercise Fridays. We know where we was gonna be at. Like we had 5 rappers every time, 4 rappers, whatever the case is. Yeah. We know what was going on Fridays.
Yeah, and then that shit knocks you off your whole course.
Yeah. Then with that being said, because studios were going down, podcasting also, I was at that point hitting the studios now for podcasting. My first 30 episodes off my iPhone. Shouts to Anchor. I would call the people like. I got some numbers off the iPhone already. You know what I'm saying? So I always tell people, use what you got, man. So that's another thing. Like people think I started the podcast off in the studio. No, I had my first 30. I'm lying about the 30. My first 20 episodes off the iPhone, and they're all interviews. It's interview based pod. So if I can interview somebody without even seeing them on a Zoom and it's on the phone, then you know I'm a great conversationalist, right? And that was also tricky in itself when I transitioned to the studios because I was new. Microphones, engineers, cameras, other people. What's going on here?
Yeah, that's a fact. No, that's so. I just want to just add on to that. That's so major. People will be like, "Oh no, I don't got Sony cameras. I don't got mics. You don't even
need, bruh, man. Listen, I done seen so many people. What's the dude that does all the shit off his iPhone? He shoots for like I think he just did a Little Yachty video. I forget his name. Yeah. Okay, bro, this iPhone.
He's probably the biggest videographer in the world,
bro, and he does a lot of shit off the iPhone, bro. Yeah. So it's like you can use anything to make your stuff pop if you really take the time and learn from the resources and the tools you have in front of you. You could do anything, bro. That's like it's technology era.
That's a fact.
But that lyrical flex exercise, like I said, that for me was because I know in the city there's a lot of rappers that probably are better than mainstream artists, right? But they just don't get the looks because there's so many artists in the city. Like every block you go on, it's like 20 artists.
That's a fact.
So like, but what can I do as a fan of the craft, as a fan of as entertainment and music to kind of like bring them out? And so when people know me for certain things and I get my name around, like I don't rap, I don't sing, I create. So I got to keep creating to keep my name alive. And how do I do that? I try to find the best talent throughout the city. They come rap. Some of them are not everybody's cup of tea, but for me, I'm thoroughly entertained every time. Yeah. I got over 150 verses on Lyrical Flexercise to this day. So like, somebody likes it. You know what I mean?
That was one of the questions I had though. Like, shout out Deem, who I just interviewed before. He has a media platform out of the Bronx, and I asked him, what's your selection process with bringing artists on your platform? Is it more like the art got to be fire, or more like they as an artist need to be fire, the business need to be fire?
So it's a combination of both, because a lot of people want to do the business. Like, let's say if I have a price, whatever the price is, they'd be willing to pay.
You charge for the?
It depends on it depends on. Okay. It's really like I wouldn't even say it's a charge, because if I tell you, I'm gonna tell you off air what the charge is. And it's not even really a charge when you look at what we offer. It's kind of like invest in your stuff and I'll invest in you too kind of thing. Like
type shit.
And again, I have over 150 verses, so clearly I'm not charging no crazy price that people can't afford, and then I'm still getting it done, right? So that's why I say the business got to be right too, because some people just think that, and like paying doesn't always mean monetary. If you got merch, bring me a hat, bring me a hoodie. Like I'm gonna rep it, I'm gonna wear it. So I'm about to have my camera guys film you, edit you, my engineer record you. You can't bring me a hat. You get what I'm saying? Like, bring me a hat, man. Because again,
that's real shit.
It's just go hand in hand. You about to get a whole production. I just want a piece of clothing. So I know how hard it is to get things done, especially with living in the city and spending money on bills. So I'm not gonna charge you something that you can't afford, right? Like, but I also know that I have people that work hard that don't have to be there. I could be filming it myself. You don't want that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, okay. When I say I agree with what you're saying.
I was going to selection too. Like, I'm a fan of rap.
Yeah.
So like, I just know what rap sounds good to me, and I haven't really been missing with the artists. Like, I kind of go based off of. You also got to get love from your people, right? Like, if I go to your stuff and nobody's really tapped in, nobody's invested into what you're doing, it's like, are they going to be invested when you come on the show? Like, are they going to care that you're here? They don't care that you really do anything else. But then there's people with big fan bases, man. But it's just they need to do something else outside of creating for themselves. They need to have other people invested in them. They need their fans to see that other shows are like calling them up, bringing them in, because that's how their stock grows. Like, I want to see a lot of these people win in New York City, man. Like, outside of working with me, I want to see our city and the people that really, I know people that push every day, and I had a lot of them on the platform, and this is just another day in the office for them when they come see me.
For sure.
So
what I agree with damn near everything you just said too. But when I said business, I more meant like the artist like presentation. So you can't be no slum artist, man. You really gotta because everything is image today. Like, somebody will look at you before they listen to your music and judge you based off how you present your artistry. Yeah. How do you like? I know an artist that is a hell of a rapper. He can make music. But you go to his socials, you go to his YouTube, and nothing indicates that he does anything related to music. And I always get at him like, why don't you do this? And he always tell me he's waiting for the right moment. I said, bro, the moment is now. Like, there's too many people out here doing the same thing you're doing, chasing the same goals you're chasing, for you to say that you're waiting to figure it out. You have to figure it out during the process.
That's just bottom line. Like artists, you got to figure it out as you're doing it. Like you can't think about it, right? You got a podcast. I got a podcast. If you weren't trial and error or like, you know, consistent every week, then somebody else is gonna have a podcast that everybody's gonna gravitate towards. Yeah. I'd have been somewhere else if I didn't tap into the Encore pod.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
if I didn't shoot 70 terrible podcasts, we wouldn't be here.
And it's like for artists, like when I see you like, I understand putting out music, you don't want to put out a song every week because it's gonna go in vain. But if you're not doing no shows, if you're not creating no other side content, if you're not going to other podcasts that don't relate to music, then it's like I'm looking at you like, why do you want to come to my show? Like, is this a part of anything, or are you just doing it to do it? Because I could rap too if I want to. I put together some bars, but it's like that's not my field. This is your field, and I just want to see who is like. That's why I say like there's a small charge, because that's when you start to weed out. Because remember, to some people I'm a small entity in New York City, but then when you try to reach the plateau, nothing's free in America. You got to invest in yourself somehow. You might have to pay anybody else, but you have to invest in yourself. So if you're not used to doing it now, you will never get used to doing it.
That's a fact.
And that's how I got a team. That's how I got to do the things I'm doing, because in the beginning it was free basement, free camera guy. There's a ceiling there when everything is free, right? When you start to invest in yourself, then the ceiling breaks and you can like do whatever you want after that.
That's major. That's so major. And that's why I always tell people I'm a fan of charging. I don't charge for interviews, so to say, because I don't that's a whole different conversation. Yeah. But but you just weed out a lot of people who are either not serious or trying to take advantage. So
and that's the thing. See, the charge too is in like I always do the charge for the reaction of when I say there's a charge. Like I look at that. Like cause if you really
see if they face change, because like
you can't tell me that you want to work with me, you want to tap in, and I say, yo, pay. What? I gotta, and it's like, do you really want to work then? Because I want to work, and if I show you how much I gotta invest and put it together to make sure your episode and everything comes out, you'll be like, damn, Vonté looking out.
Yeah.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Some of the people that I work with do things for me on the love, because we know that we're gonna get other things done together. But nobody sees the back end work. They only see when they get there, they film it, and they want the product right after that. They don't see how it gets put together. So it's like, you're going to see though. You're going to see when I charge you. And if you don't want to pay it, and this is the glory of it, Pancho. If you don't want to pay it, there's always somebody else out there working. You go find them, and hopefully they got something for you. I'm not, out here, man. It's too many people out here, creatives, serious creatives that you can tap into. When you start weeding out the ones who are not serious, there's still a plethora of people who want to get it done. So you're gonna run into somebody regardless.
That's a fact.
Like I don't knock anybody that doesn't want to do the work, the business. I get it, because some places I wouldn't do it either.
Yeah.
So I understand. I don't.
It's just what it is.
I literally don't feel no way about it, because again, it's about how you carry your artistry. It's not about how anybody else dictates it for you. If you're a person that doesn't pay for things, I'm not gonna make you start here.
Yeah.
Like
it is
what it is.
It is what it is.
If it works for you, it works for me. I'm still a fan.
Type shit.
I have people that tell me that they don't think I'm worth the payment. And guess what? The music is still on my playlist, because I'm still I was a fan before they reached out to me. They don't even know it sometimes.
You know what's so funny about that? I feel like it's so difficult and I felt this way before, so I'm not gonna say like I'm above anyone else, but I feel like a lot of people cannot separate the artist from business. And like something bad business happens, and then the art gets fucked up for them.
And that's it's the worst thing too, because it's like now you're taking it personal.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like I don't take any of this personal, man.
Yo, I saw this tweet the other day.
Is it from me?
No.
Okay. Good. I was like, oh, hopefully I see my tweets. My tweets are insane.
He said
not safe for work.
I've heard a lot of people say business is never personal. And then this dude said the complete opposite. Super successful entrepreneur. He was like, business is very personal. When someone does you dirty, it's personal. And people are just going back and forth in the comments. And I was like,
here's what I'll say. If you're working with somebody in business that you already had a personal relationship with, then that's still personal. But if I meet somebody on a business regimen and we work business, I don't take it personal, because there's people that have done me. And I feel like I've had bad business endeavors this year. Like this year, I was telling Ty on the way here, this has probably been my worst business year.
Really?
And I can say that openly. Like I don't run from nothing. Like I've had a lot of disputes. A lot of things didn't go our way. We lost a lot of content. Tried to refilm some content. The people ain't with it. Like it's a lot of things that go on, and I can understand all of that. Like if I go somewhere to film something and then I got to do it again, Like, I don't really want to hear about your loss of content. But again, if I start taking that personal now, I'm gonna walk around with stress and headaches every day because like I just made this person mad, I just made that person mad. At the end of the day, once they say they don't want to do it anymore, that's the tie. The business ties are cut. I'll still listen to the music. If you're whatever you do, I'm still tapping in. But the business ties, it just ain't. The cards wasn't in the cards this time around.
Yeah, that's real.
And as a creator, you got to be okay with that because if you focus on the people that you don't get to work with, then you're gonna take away from the value of the people you do work with. Yeah, right now, 100%. I got a bunch of content to drop that I haven't because I just been in a bad mindset going into fourth quarter. Like it's been like still dealing with some bad business that kind of like rolled over, and I'm like, I don't want to get into a flow of dropping content, but I'm not really feeling the content. Like I got so much freestyles left to drop, bro. Yeah. Like I don't know when this is coming out, but like
probably like 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Yeah.
I'll still be dropping stuff.
That's
like,
fire.
And like, and I have all that filmed already, edited, like, and it's like, but I got because I'm the one who's presenting it all. If I'm not feeling it, man, that's kind of my downfall too, right? Because and that plays into the consistency part of it. Because some people are looking at that flow of when you drop stuff and when you stop out of nowhere too. They're like, oh, is he falling off? Like, and it's like, bro, I got a personal life too, and I still got to handle like life things that are bigger, which is crazy to say because we want to be all into our craft, but then the reality sometimes is bigger than the craft, right? Like some things don't pertain to the craft that you have to attend to, and that's just been me for the past couple of weeks. But trust me, man, people gonna know I ain't fall off. Like when I start this drop again, like this flow of drops, I'm like, damn, like. He was waiting for this. I put a post up too at the beginning of fourth quarter, and I said I got a lot to drop. So I don't think people think I talk the talk. Like I'll be dead ass when I say I got a lot to drop. So it's coming.
Okay,
it's coming, Pancho. I'm telling you, man.
I'm here for it.
I'm gonna send you some sneak peeks too, man.
I'm here for it. So you're a fan of not taking breaks, but if shit's not going right in your life or your mental is off, like take a step back. Because some people are just like, who the fuck cares?
Now I am.
Now you are. 29-year-old Vonté.
29-year-old Vonté is like, yo, mental health, take your breaks. Encourage your people to take those breaks. Encourage people to not be overzealous, because I'm an overzealous guy. Like I want everything to go right all the time, and I think I could do everything. Again, 2022 is my reality. Yeah, I'm gonna say that because with 3 platforms that I'm trying to have run consistently, and they have nothing to do with each other, and I'm still the person running it all. It gets to be a lot when you got. Rappers. See, the thing is too, when you have a team, you got to keep them on point, or not on point, but keep them in a loop. So like, if you're not communicating well with them, they don't know what's going on. Then the talent don't know what's going on, and then you're just like, oh, bro, like So this year, like every time something would happen, normally I would try to like push through it, still dropping content, still filming content. Now it's like, yo, I'm inside trying to figure out how I'm about to plan out now. I'm trying to make sure everything is done. I've missed events like because I had to really like discipline myself to like kind of focus up, because I realized that again, everything doesn't fall the way I wanted to. Like this year again, I had a plan coming into the year and nothing went according to plan, but I still had a great year because I don't know, man. I just feel like things happened in my favor, I guess, but the things I planned out didn't really work the way I planned them out. But everything's would just come, like all the opportunities I got this year kind of just came when I was at my lowest too. Like not when I say lowest, like, damn, why is everything messing up for me? Like, why is everything like I didn't do nothing wrong here? Like, and everything is going backwards when it should be going forward. And I'll get a big opportunity. Like, oh shit. Like when I interviewed Jim Jones in the beginning of the year.
Yeah, I saw that when you posted it.
Yeah, I was like, bro, I was literally saying to myself, I've been working hard to make sure everybody is good as far as my team, the people we work with. I said, I got to start doing things for Vonté. Like, what's this? What I'm about to do next that don't really involve nobody else but me? And then I got the email, yo, Jim Jones listening, like media event. I'm like, oh shit, we in there, right? So Ty was there. So I say Ty know the vibes. Like we was in there, like so. That was a big one. Another big one for me was the Nico episode for the R&B Pack. I know you didn't touch on that yet, but like that was big for me too, because when you have a song going viral, like the King's affirmation is, I will be one of the greatest. You got that going across all socials. You kind of think like, damn, like how can I link up with that type of artist? Their sister, we had some type of, we had a rapport from Clubhouse, the app, like, yeah. So Clubhouse was like,
shout out Clubhouse.
Yeah, people shit on Clubhouse, but and that's the thing. Like
Clubhouse had its era.
It had its era, and if you used it right, you got the connections you wanted. Because from Clubhouse, I got Nico on the R&B Pack because of Nico's sister, who's also their manager. She threw a show. Shouts to Kayla. Yeah, I'm telling you, man, all these name drops, you're gonna ding, 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 ding. But Kayla,
I might need to send you some. Yo, who is the?
Yeah, I'll send you the whole list. Kayla, she had a show called R&B Idol on Clubhouse. We had people singing.
Really
on
into
Clubhouse.
the phone? Oh,
yeah,
wow. Okay.
every week. Wow. And I was a judge.
Oh shit!
And I was supposed to offer the winner an interview on the podcast. This before I had the R&B Pack. So then we went to a studio to do some audio for some rap stuff, and it was Make Life Studio. Shout out to Make Life Studio. Ding! Right? So we went to Make Life Studio. We did the audio for the rap stuff, but then I seen like they had a setup of like drums, guitars, all this type of stuff, and I was like, this is kind of fire. Like, and I'm a huge R&B fan. Like, R&B is my favorite genre, and I always wanted to do an R&B show, but I just didn't know how I was gonna do it. Do I do like them singing in the studio to the instrumental? Do I do an a cappella show? Do I do like American Idol type of show? But when I seen that setup, I was like, yo, like I know Tiny Desk is there, but they do rappers and singers. Yeah. Like I want to have a pure R&B performance show, so like no rap involved. And that, when I told people that, because you know some songs have the rap collabs. Yeah. Like I've had artists that came up to the show and they have rap collabs on their songs, but I strictly said no rap collabs because that's the problem with today. Rap is finding their ways into everything, and it's kind of taken away from the main genre. So if you kind of keep it centered at R&B, then you realize that there's people invested in strictly R&B.
That's a fact.
Like, because if like when Tiny Desk started bringing on Rick Ross and everybody like that, then it's like, okay, we're pandering to the culture, not just like vocal performances. For me, it's like it's always going to be vocals and a band.
That's fine.
Like, so that's
you brought up something earlier that I wanted to hit on one more time. How you're like balancing 3 platforms right now. How do you even pull that off? I couldn't do that. I used to own a concert venue. I had to drop that. Well,
which venue you had?
It was one in town here. I mean, I legally had to drop it. It was a long story, but I was so happy when that shit was gone because I had my time back. It was like how do you balance that?
You don't, bro.
Yeah.
Like this is why, like now I'm in where I'm at. Like when I say bad business years, because you probably can balance it all. I would say segment your stuff. Like have seasons for your stuff if you're gonna do it. If you're gonna do different. Because to try to run 3 concurrent is the right word. Like at the same time, whatever the word is, right? Like to try to run 3 platforms at the same time is.
I was trying to think like when someone goes to prison and it's like
consecutive. I think it's consecutive or concurrent, right?
Yeah, one or the other.
But like, to try to run all 3 platforms at once, man, like because they're all different, right? Like so for the podcast, I may have business owners, I may have entertainment lawyers, I may have other media personalities. They're not going to be on the R&B Pack or on Lyrical Flexercise, so it's like now I got to be in that space mentally. So when I go, if you see me at a lot of rap events, like I start posting about listening parts because I'm about to be in rap mode. Like you know, some stuff about to come from me that's rap. When you see me doing stuff like Encore Pod or like other podcasts or sitting down with other media personalities, you know I'm about to be in my podcast game for real. And then the R&B is like, I would say that's the thing that's going to be all year round.
Okay.
Because again, I'm a huge fan of rap, and I'm glad that people love Lyrical Flexercise the way they do. But being here is also going to let them know, being here on your show, it's going to let them know that R&B Pack is really what I see for the future of myself and my team. So like,
that's where your heart's at?
Yeah, that's where my heart is. Like,
would you ever drop Lyrical Flexercise?
No, I won't drop it.
No.
So like even like right now with all the freestyles I dropped this year in ciphers, I'm probably only going to drop a cipher a season next year. So one in the spring, one in the summer, one in the fall, one in the winter. But I'll never drop it because it wasn't until Lyrical Flexercise that people respected Vonté NYC. They knew I was a podcaster, but I also did a talk show before a podcast, so they know I could talk. But once I became a creator and I guess a media correspondent person, that's when everybody was like, all right, we here. So I could never let go of that's like a smile. I actually had to send a cease and desist out to this dude who has a song called Lyrical Flexercise. Shout out to Aiden Burns. You know, he's a good dude. Yeah. He's the artist. He still hasn't taken down the song yet. So now I'm about to take legal action, which I didn't want to. But we spoke about it. And he was cool. He was going to just change the title name, and I guess he just never got to it because he's not like a consistent artist. So when you're not consistent, I guess you don't really care about.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care if he wrote me like and said take it down. Like, I don't make music, so if he does take it down, I'm chilling. So now I'm gonna actually get it taken down because when you Google lyrical flexercise, the song comes up. But then you see all of my pictures and the images and stuff. Like you see me, but then you see lyrical flexercise by Aiden Burns, and it's like like all my paperwork is in, fella. Like you're not, and that's another thing too. If you have an idea, man, and you feel strongly about it, get that paperwork done. Like trademark that name, like and just make sure that you own it. Because the people I started lyrical flexercise with ain't here today to see the glory of what it became. The ciphers, the in the booth freestyles. They didn't get to see that. Ty came along lyrical flexercise later on, like a couple episodes in, so he's seen it from like the first inception to now. But like the guys who I started it with, we did the first filming and they didn't think it was gonna be anything after that. Because it kind of went from we was rapping in the crib, and I was like, let's go take it to a studio and see if we could change it to a show. And we did it. And the crazy thing is, they had the best time our first filming, but it's just like, when it's not for you, you're not gonna go for it. Like for them, it was just like one of those moments, like, oh, it was lit. Yeah. But then it's like after that, it's like, do I really want to now commit to going to a studio every Friday to film rappers I don't know who are not the biggest rappers? And that's another thing. People don't like to work with people who are not known.
Yeah.
Like real. You could scroll down my whole timeline for the year and you'd be like, who the hell are any of these people? But it's still quality content. You don't have to know the person to know that the content gonna come out great. You know what I'm saying? So that's another thing too. I take risks when I work with people that are not big artists, because as a person who's trying to grow, right? Like I gotta show I don't know the word I'm looking for there, but I gotta show that I'm really in the field, getting the people that are verified with the big following, that have like music on billboards or whatever the case is. But it's like, for me, I'm just I enjoy what I do. I love this. I love the culture. So you don't really gotta, you can't throw somebody like the Jim Jones thing. I could have said no, and I would have slept well that same night. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a clout chaser. I don't care how big you are, because I know for that moment, it's going to be a moment. Like, you're not about to make me, you. Like, our little encounter is not going to make me, you.
That's a fact.
As a quote unquote bigger person. You know what I'm saying?
I think a lot of people got that messed up though.
Yeah, they think if I do this one show, then whatever clout or whatever love that show gets, I'm gonna get all of it.
Bro, since most people gonna be watching this are artists, if I get that one feature if I'm on that one platform, it's not.
Bro, when I did the Jim Jones joint, I had so many people writing me, yo, you going up, gang. Bro, I was at work reading those messages. Like, I was at work. You know what I'm saying? Like, that didn't change.
Yeah,
that moment was great, and Jim Jones showed hella love, like very down to earth person. But like the next day, I was back to doing what I had to do.
That's a fact,
right? So like, don't ever get complacent and just keep pushing, man. Like, people look at these, people will say like, all right, for example, shout out to On the Radar, man. Shout out to Gabe P. We talked about Gabe earlier. That's my guy too, and I love everything they're doing over there. Shout out to the team there too. But like, somebody will go on that show and think that now they're Drake. And it's like, fam, you know how many people have been on that show and how many people watch that show? So it's like, you on a Thursday, but then Friday has to happen, Saturday has to happen, Sunday has to happen, and the weeks continue. So don't get complacent, man. Just keep at your craft. That's so real. To take it back to how you balance the three platforms, I think I would say like, find a medium in each platform and then rock it like that. Try to get different teams involved especially if the platforms have nothing to do with each other. Like, if they don't directly coincide, try to get different people working on each one, because then you're gonna overwork your team. You don't want to do that. Look, Daniel's not here. Shouts to Daniel, right? He's in law school. If you pressured him to be here today, his mind would have been all over the place.
Yeah.
I mean, I wish you could have been here, bro. So this is like me telling you missed out.
Damn, Daniel.
Yeah, Daniel. Said that when I walked in, like, damn, Daniel. But yeah, that's really it, bro. Like I said, like. But I know going further, it's gonna be less flexercise, meaning you're gonna get those moments, but not on that frequency. Mm-hmm. And then with the podcast too, like, I'm retiring podcasting this year, actually. Really? So I'm not retiring interviews, I'm retiring podcasting. So I won't be doing Vonté NYC Podcast anymore, because I got ideas and I just don't want it to stem from what I already like have, and I don't want to do it on a podcast format.
Okay.
Meaning I probably won't stream my next show like on like the stream platform. It'll probably just be YouTube.
Okay.
Because right now my podcast is not even on YouTube. I only have it on streaming and then the visuals on Spotify. So like for my next endeavor, I want to try to like work that YouTube algorithm, and it's gonna be like a whole concept show. I'm gonna tell you about it too because I want you on it. Like it's gonna be viral.
I'm there for it.
As long as you could do the activity that's gonna be based around it. We'll talk about it.
We'll figure that out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. But yeah, I'm pretty sure you will be able to do at least one of them. So it's like I want to try
anything music related or
it'll be conversation based around music, but the thing we're doing is not music related. I'll tell you after. It's nothing crazy. It's nothing crazy. It's
I could play guitar, piano, and work out. Other than that, I might be fucked.
Nah, trust me, you'll be good. You'll be good.
For
but
sure.
That's what. So like I said, I won't be done interviewing because I love it. I love talking to people. But I just think that my podcast days have served their days. Like 2018 till now.
Yeah.
And I'm not as consistent in podcasting as a typical podcaster is, and I don't want to cheat the podcast algorithm.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I know my place. Like I know where I stand. I know where I sit in. I know where I fit in, and I know what I'm capable of. So when I tell people that, I told 1 million people that already that I'm retiring podcasting. They're like, oh, I'm like, bro, I never said I'm stop interviewing, and I never said I'm not gonna come on somebody else's podcast. Like I might find a spot I can guest host that a couple of times. I might find you know what I mean? So I don't have to have my own. But I'll say I won't have my own podcast. Okay. If that's better, word. I won't have my own podcast, but I'll still be in the game
for sure. Fine. All right, we got a couple more things I want to get into. You actually hit a lot of my points just from talking.
That's like a downfall of mine because I'm a podcaster, so like I naturally come in saying like I know what the talking points may be, so I just go on the cut me off at any time, please.
Nah, it's all good.
I'll talk all day if you let me, man. Like
it's all good. It's all good. Yeah, you hit a lot of my topics, but one of the things. All right, so 2 more things. Mm-hmm. Technically 3. All right, so. You work with a lot of artists. You've encountered a lot of artists.
Yes.
I'm sure some experiences have been great.
Yeah.
And some have made you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
What about a session would make it memorable and what would make it unbearable?
Memorable is when I'm big on community. And I say that, it's like I want, no matter if I'm in the room or not, I want the rest of the room to be comfortable with each other. So a memorable session is just everybody interacting. Everybody kind of like using each other's skills to make that session what it is. So that's why I love R&B Pack so much, because I got the band, then I got the staff, which is the camera guys, the music director. Shout out to Nina Woods. Shout out to Something Like Media. And then you got the singers, right? So when you got all of them and they're all talking about how we're going to set up this next set, how we're going to stop it, how we're going to do the cameras, and I don't have to say a word, that's a memorable session to me because it's like, this can run without me. But also I put it together and I know the type of people I want to bring in the room together.
Yeah, that's like the goal, having something wrong without you.
Bro, so now I'm gonna since we switched locations for the R&B Pack, I'm going to the first couple of filmings. But once we get this like season 2 really on the road, I'm never going to that place, bro, because I got things I want to get accomplished. So and they know that and they couldn't understand that. So that also make it memorable. And the fact, like, high energy, man, like show that you want to be there. People, like, nobody's forcing us to do any of this. Right? Nobody forced me to create any of these platforms. Nobody's begged me for it. I did it because of my love for the culture and because I want to do it. So please, if you're going to book something with us or be around us, just show that you want to be there. If you don't, you can leave. Just show that you want to be a part of what we got going on. Like, and then it's memorable. I talk about all my sessions all the time. I think everybody we work with, for the most part, 95% of the artists, I've had a great time with.
I would say the same.
Yeah, and then you got those people
too cool for school.
Who too cool for school. They come in and they stand in the corner when there's other people they could be mingling with. Then you got people who don't respect time. They come late. I showed up early today because, one, I'm big on time. Like, if I'm late, at least somebody from my team is there early, right? So, like, an artist will come late and think I'm supposed to work on their time still. I had a dude come an hour and 15 minutes late to my interview, and it was outside of my book time. So I'm like, you're lucky that I have a relationship with the studio owner so he can kind of like just shift over the slot for me. If not, I was out. I was leaving. But I can't tell that to them because then it's like, I'm disrespectful. Who you think you are to tell me this? And I'm Vonté NYC, man. That's who I am.
Yeah.
So it's like,
I've had the worst one was 2 hours and 45 minutes late. I've had.
Oh, you were a better man than me. I would have been,
bro. I was
in the movie theater halfway through a movie at that point. Like,
the only reason I didn't leave is because I was just making beats the whole time, and we had Tito's, so I was just drinking Tito's, making beats.
Shout out to Tito's, man.
No fuck
but
Tito's.
I never,
Tito's.
I never really had a bad. I have all the bad experience I want to say I've had working with artists is either because they no showed or because they came super late. I don't think anybody who has been with me, aside from like one or two R&B artists, have given us trouble while we were actually together.
For sure.
So, because people kind of respect. I'm a nice person, man. Like I think that with the stuff that I do, people don't give me enough credit for, which is cool. But it's like, because a lot of the artists that get support, that's all they get is support. Like there's nobody really kind of like helping shine a light on them. And if they do, it's always something like, I don't want to call nobody's stuff cheesy, but be cheesy stuff, man. And I'm like, you ain't never come do no cheesy shit with Vonté. So it's like,
talking about other platforms.
And I'm not saying that their platforms are cheesy. Nah, I just know that when an artist comes to me and I look at something they've done elsewhere, and I'm like, damn, bro, I know we about to turn it up on that. Like, so it's like, just respect it. You know what I'm saying? When you come to us, and then respect my peoples. Like, these people don't have to be here with you. Yo, I got so many people that work on R&B Pack. Shout outs to Wave King, my engineer. You know what I'm saying? Shout outs to Taj. Taj's always everything. Taj's the only person that kind of like knows about everything, right? Shout outs to Something Like Media, my boy Zaya, they film it. Raquel, film. Nina, my music director. That's already 6 people, excluding the band, excluding the singers. Still got to factor in those people. Shout outs to my band, G, Bell, you know what I'm saying? 48th Street. Those are the guys.
Yeah,
like,
I don't think I'm going to be able to.
just put the numbers. Just put the numbers.
We'll figure.
But I shout them out because, again, without them, there's no platforms.
Yeah.
Because I don't play any instrument and I don't sing. So I have the idea of the R&B Pack, but without everybody I just listed, there is no R&B Pack.
For sure.
Right.
One other thing too. Like I'm happy you said the late thing. Like any artist watching this right now, it is really hard for an interview host to stay positive when you are an hour 30 minutes late. I don't want to do this interview anymore. I don't care. It's not going to be as good as it can. Please be on time.
You got to think about our mindset too. If I want to interview you at 5:00 p.m., bro, the way I think at 5 p.m. is not the way I think at 7 p.m. So you come in here at 7 p.m. and think you're gonna get 5 o'clock Vonté. You're not gonna get him. Like,
my mind is somewhere else.
I'm supposed to be home at this point. So my mind is like, I'm not home. I'm upset.
Yeah, you know I'm missing whatever's
going on, or whatever else I had planned. And the fact that I stayed here for you, and also when they give you the bad interview, once you wait for them, it's like, bro, the least you can do is answer the questions.
Yeah,
and don't say facts after everything that I asked.
One word, bro.
Man, that's one word. That's why a lot of my interviews aren't with artists. They're with like other entrepreneurs, media personalities, because those are the people I know can speak on their crafts. Like I interview strippers, bro, because they can speak about more of what they do. They have a little bit more of a lit life than maybe a typical artist who hasn't really doing nothing but making the music, right?
For sure.
So it's like that's where I'm at with it when it comes to like creativity and just divulging and getting.
I'm on the same type of time. At this point, I had this conversation with Cruz. Like we interview a lot less artists now.
Yeah, see, and I appreciate that. That's why I'm like, I'm glad I'm coming up, because when it's strictly artists and then you see a guy like me, it doesn't really make sense.
Yeah.
But when you see everybody in the back end of the industry, I was like, oh, okay. Now it's like, I feel like that's a place to be now.
Yeah,
you know
for
what
sure.
I mean? Like, so
and also, that's not a shot at artists at all.
No, hell no,
a lot of the business conversations I'd like to have, I've just recognized that a lot of artists are either not aware of it.
They don't know,
or
man.
they don't know, or
man.
they just some artists play dumb for whatever reason. I don't know.
You think they play dumb? I think they are.
All right, that's a comment for another day. But honestly, that leads into another question that I have for you. What is one? I like asking this question to anybody who works closely with artists. What is? Shut the fuck up. That was me. I know I was talking shit about it before. My fault. What is one thing that you wish artists would understand about what you do?
That in the overall grand scheme of it all, I do it for them, because I don't have to create music-based content to create. I can create literally anything. And you'll see it 2023 and beyond. I got some things that I'm working on that it don't have anything to do with music, but I'm pretty sure it's going to hit the same way, right? So it's like, I'm not in the business of doing anybody dirty. I would be a scammer if I was. I rob banks. I rob old ladies if I really want to do somebody dirty. I am a fan of everybody that I work with. I listen to your music if you're an artist. I don't just have you on my rap platform or on my R&B platform or interview you because I want the content, at the end of the day, I spend a lot more than I get back in return. So if you think it's a money thing, it's not a money thing. It's really just a love of what we are able to do as a society today. You ask our parents, they wasn't able to do this. They didn't have the resources. They didn't have the pride and the confidence to go out there and be like, yo, I got a podcast. I got a show. I create this. I created that. I can bring it's a different time. So the fact that we all are able to do this, well, not all, but for the people who are, I'm just in awe of it and I'm inspired by it. So when I bring rappers on for lyrical flex exercise, I may see more in a rapper than they see in themselves. And they've told me, they're like, yo, bro, the fact that you've been calling me every week to come up to your platform and I haven't really dropped nothing in a year plus, I'm like, bro, because I know you got it. Sometimes it just takes somebody else to tell you that you got it. I have the R&B Pack for almost a year now. By the time this comes out, it'll be over like a hit a year. And it wasn't until I filmed the Nico's episode, not because they're a big artist, it's because what they've told me at the session that I realized we had something with the R&B Pack. Because I knew we had something, but it wasn't until somebody else told me, yeah, I got something. Like, and I was like, because you always confident in what you got. You're like, yo, I know, I built it. We built it. You know, I'm like, Encore Pod, I know you think, you have a great pod, by the way.
I appreciate that.
But please take that and feel like that when you talk about it, right? Like, this is a great show. So, but now that I told you that, you just smiled a little bit. You feel a little bit better about your own opinion, right? So it's like, same thing here, bro. Like, so I just wish they would realize that we don't operate from a bad place. Like, so for all the bad business, it just fell on unfortunate circumstances. You know, I lost content this year through hard drives, like a lot of content, right? And then also with busy schedules, everybody's not available to film every time somebody wants to film.
Yeah,
I could be free on a Friday, and the rappers could be free, but if my camera guys aren't there, how are we gonna get it filmed?
Yeah,
right. And it's like people feel like I understand the urgency of getting stuff done, and that's why I'm like, it's bad business. I have no excuses, right? Like, it's just bad, but it's like, understand that it's not intentional and understand that, but they know that when we finally get it done, now it's lit. That's why I love that Kanye quote. First they love you, then they hate you, then they love you again.
Yeah.
Because when they inquire, it's like, yo, I love this. Like, Vonté, you about to hook me up? Yeah. I have unfortunate circumstances. I'm the worst person out here. People hate me. Yeah. But then when that episode come out, yo, make sure you tap in with Vonté because this is, and it's like, that's why I don't take it personal because I know the cycle.
That's a fact.
I've been doing this almost 10 years.
I was saying that I say if I fuck something up beyond repair, and if I've only had to say this 4 times in about 400 podcasts and shit. Yo, we had a great time last night. You want to have another one?
Yeah. Bro, like I done lost ciphers. And the cipher I lost is with a group. So they're a music group. So it's like, it's not like I'm trying to like, kind of like say sorry to individuals. I gotta now apologize to the group. And because they all operate on one wavelength, it's like, they were trying to hear that. And even one of them, I'll ask him after this if I leave this in. One of them saw one of my camera guys actually near his job and actually pressed him for the footage. Like, what happened to the footage? And it's like, bro, we told you what happened. So my drive, one of the drives like went down, and I lost like cypher, some freestyles, like 2 interviews, some R&B stuff. We lost like pictures and all, like mad shit, bro. Like, so it's like, think about the stuff I just lost. You worrying about? I'm offering the refilm. I'm booking the spot. I'm doing everything because I want the content. But just imagine how much I just lost that I have to now go and do all again, pay for all again, and I'm willing to do it all again. Some people will lose it and be like, "Fuck it,
fuck this platform."
Some people will take that one time they lose a lot of content and say, "Fuck it all."
That happens, not literally.
But when you're somebody who has younger people working with you now, and I don't want them to be me 10 years ago, trying to figure it out, trying to like, who can we work with? Who, like, they need to know that there's a way. You're gonna get it done. You know what I'm saying? There's somebody out here looking out for you, and that's me. So even if I can't produce, make sure my people's is good. Sure. And that's the biggest thing about teams. Like, you don't always got to be the guy to be the one. Like, sometimes you can step back, and when you have a good enough team that represents each other. When my camera guy's outside, people will text me, "Yo, I just seen Chris like outside. I don't see you, but seeing a familiar face feels good." So stuff like that is like, you don't really have to always be the Michael Jackson. You could be Tito.
That's real.
You know what I'm saying?
That's real. And also that's why everyone should back up their hard drives. But I've lost hundreds of beats, bro. Same type of time. Yeah, it's terrible. It's terrible.
Yeah, and it's just like, I just feel like hard drive, like whoever's creating these needs to like have a hard drive for the hard drive. Like, let's back up the backup, because
for real.
We film a lot of dope stuff, man. And like I said, that's the bulk of my bad business started when we lost a lot of stuff, because you got to recover while also staying consistent and moving forward. Yeah. So you got to move back and move forward at the same time, and we know that's impossible. So that's where it kind of stemmed from. And now I'm still having lingering effects. But yo, listen, we signed up for this, and I signed up for it for sure. 3 platforms, and I might have a 4. Well, I'll have a third. I'll still have 3 next year because I'm doing changing from podcast to show. But it might be 4. It might be 4 platforms. Might be 5. But you know, it's just a matter of how long I stay motivated, how long I'm a fan of the culture, how long people inspire me. Like, I came up here to see you and Cruz, who's not here. But because you guys inspire me, man. You have some people that I've known up here. You have some people that I don't know. And those conversations were like, it's a whole different perspective. People from another side of the town kind of doing essentially almost the same thing, but tapping into a whole different plethora of people that I wouldn't even imagine crossing paths with. So when I see this stuff, and now I'm following them on Instagram and seeing what they're about, because that's how you make connections, man. We all trying to make some shit shake out here.
That's a fact.
And the only way we're going to do it is if we do stuff like this. Like when you come down to I already told you, R&B Pack, you play keys, pull up. You play guitar, pull up. We're going to make it happen. Trust me, we're going to make it happen. Remember me saying this on your podcast. You're going to see Poncho on the R&B Pack. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Yes, sir. How you feeling?
I'm good, man. Listen, again, back to just giving you your flowers about having a podcast. Because again, it's all about, it could have been anything for me to get up here. You could have it could have been any type of business, right? And I still would have did it because I'm a fan of the show. Like, I don't even know you guys. I didn't even know you guys personally before I started following the show page. Like, I followed you guys. I think I followed the Instagram for the page first, for the show first. Then I followed you and Cruz, and it's like, okay, these are the guys who run it. But I actually liked the podcast stuff before I knew you guys, and it's like I'm trying to jump on there, like before even knowing the thing. And then I started seeing we had mutuals. I'm like, okay, if he knows this, like when I see you guys know Iman, I'm like, all right, yeah. Like, Iman's my guy, man.
That's the go.
I got a freestyle with Iman coming soon, man. I mean, yeah, by the time this come out, it probably still won't be out because Iman be playing, but freestyle with Iman coming. He's a real calculated guy, you know, so that's why I be like,
yeah, for sure. That's one thing I appreciate about him.
Yeah, so that's why I'm like, I got to make sure everything lines up. But yeah, that's a good guy, man. I did a lot of name dropping, but that's because, again, without the names, I don't have a career.
That's facts. Do you have anything else you want to say to the artists that are gonna watch this interview?
Yeah, man. You don't always gotta work with me. I love the game. I love the entertainment. But understand this, man. Like I said before, I operate from a place of, this is the culture that we are in. This is the culture I decided to be a part of. So I'm gonna do my best to make sure I make it shake on my end and all of my creations. If you want to work with us, understand that nothing's free in America, but I don't want your money. If I wanted your money, again, I'll be a scammer and I'll rob your granny. Like, I don't want to do that. So, artists, also believe in yourself. I believe in myself heavily. This is why I have 3 platforms. I believe in my team, believe in the people you work with. You know, yes, there's a million other people chasing the same dream as you, but somebody gonna wake up first from that dream, and you'll still be dreaming, and you'll still be able to chase that, right? So once everybody else wakes up, you keep chasing that dream, man. You know what I'm saying? Not wake up in a good way, because waking up is not like I woke up and I see the light. No, waking up is like, damn, I forgot about that dream. Yeah. But you keep dreaming, man, because take us somebody like, I'll give you a perfect example. Somebody that I want to say is drill rapper. I don't really like drill as a genre. That's not my favorite genre. But I know a guy named Young Costamato. You know, he's signed to a label. One of his best friends, T-Dot. You know, T-Dot Wu. Rest in peace, T-Dot. Yeah. And that's somebody I went to school with. Young Costamato, not T-Dot. Young Costamato. And I've seen him. One of the. Yeah, if you know Young Costamato, you know he's one of them. You know what I'm saying? But to see him believe in himself as an artist, to get signed to anybody, a guy like that, a guy who's from the streets, a guy who's about what he talks about, to get signed, it means he believes in himself as the artist. Because that shit doesn't happen to everybody. You really got to believe, work. That's really it, man. Believe in yourself, because if you don't, nobody will.
That's real.
That's it. I can't really give you advice because I'm not an artist, and what works for you may not work for the next person. But if you work, that's the only way you're going to figure out what's going to happen at the end of it, right? If you don't work, then you'll never know.
Only thing that works is work.
You know, they had that Langston Hughes says, what happens to a dream deferred, right? And for the battle rap trail I'm going to do for my battle rap event, I actually do like a monologue over it. And it starts with what happens to a dream deferred. And at the end, I repeat it. So what happens to a dream deferred? And then the screen goes blank. And I say, I guess we'll never know. Because that event's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? So the whole monologue is about me dreaming about an event that I want to put together. And then what happens to a dream deferred? Does it drive like a reason? And so I guess we'll never know. so you know, there's no dreams deferred, man. You just chase what you want. I mean, I was supposed to do the battle rap event last June. Think about that. I'm doing it February next year. So it may not happen tomorrow. It may not happen today. It may not happen next week. But when you work with Vonté NYC, it will happen.
Facts. There's a will, there's a way.
Bet your life on that one.
Could you tell the people where to find you on social media?
Vonté NYC on Instagram, Vonté NYC on Twitter. I don't have TikTok. If you see a Vonté NYC profile, like I created it by accident. You know when you try to like look at TikToks, you sign up with your like Apple ID. Then my Apple ID changed, and I never created a password, so I can't log into it. So I just never tried again.
Tragic.
If you see the R&B Pack's TikTok, that is a TikTok. I just don't have nobody to run it yet. I'm just not doing it. So you can follow that. The R&B Pack on Instagram. Lyrical Flexercise on Instagram, Vonté NYC Podcast on Instagram. Subscribe to the R&B Pack on YouTube. Subscribe to me, Vonté NYC on YouTube. And then like I said, once you come to my page, you see everybody that I work with, so you can kind of like find out my network from there. You know, shout out to my camera guys, the team. Shout out to Ty for being here. You know, so that's it, man. You know, stay tuned for the journey. I got a lot more. Like I think this is the beginning of, because the pandemic kind of like made me realize that, this shit ain't stopping for nobody. Life is not stopping for nobody. So I'm trying to go full-fledged in what I do from here on out. And with things getting kind of back to normal, we still kind of like in the mix. But once things kind of get back to where I need it to be, Pancho, it's over. It's over. But yeah, I appreciate you, bro. For real, I like the spot. See you in the city. See you in the city when y'all come.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I will be there. Cruz.
3 months.
See you in the city, man. Hopefully. Yeah, Cruz really tapped into the Instagram, bro. I woke up one morning, that boy was out there. He be up late night. He be up late night studying, bro.
Yeah, he don't sleep.
Because he's on Instagram late night. But yeah, I appreciate being here, man. I appreciate you having me, for real.
Absolutely. So, check it out. Episode 46, Encore Pod. I know you learned some shit. I know you laugh. I know you enjoyed it. So please tap in with the channel. Subscribe to us. Tap in with Vonté. He's got hella shit going on. Amazing things. And yeah, exactly. And this is just the beginning. So, tap in. And yeah, we appreciate you watching. We out of here.